This sound brings me so much peace. Are you trying to bring more peace into your life? I know I am. Is the problem the United States? It might be. And is the solution Portugal? It might be. Let's talk about it. If you are new here, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel. And if you're returning, thank you so much. Now, I was born and raised in the United States, so I have had many wonderful memories, many wonderful experiences. I've traveled throughout the country and there are beautiful cities here. So that is a fact. However, being Black in America comes with a whole slew of other issues. Now, clearly the things that I'm going to list are not unique to Black Americans, but I'm speaking from my own perspective as a Black American. So that's why I said that. And I'm going to make a list and I want you to go through and keep track. Every time I name something that you've experienced, keep track of it and let me know in the comments below how many of these things you've experienced. And then, honey, let me tell you, I have a solution for you because the majority of those things can be eliminated if you move abroad. So are you ready? Let's go. This list is long and it makes me sad, but let's get into it. Whew. Number one, racial discrimination. Have you faced discrimination in education, in the workplace, housing, criminal justice system? Are you keeping track? Have you had any of those four? Keep track. Keep track. Let's go on. Financial insecurity due to opportunity or resources. Health issues. I think these are common in the Black community. Do you have high blood pressure or heart disease or diabetes? Because that may be due to your inability to get decent health care, or it may be due to your inability to get access to quality food. Quality food should be its own category. That goes for everybody. We are all dealing with poor quality food in the United States. The amount of chemicals and preservatives and fake foods that are allowed in this country. Are you keeping track? Have you been followed in a store? Have you been called a racial slur? Have you found it difficult to find products for your hair or skin? Have you had a lower quality of service than you have deserved? Have you dealt with microaggressions? I mean, it's a lot to deal with, and to deal with this day in and day out can create a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD. I'm telling you, it's not good for your health. But I'm here to tell you that there are countries where you can live where you're not going to experience those things, or the amount is going to drop dramatically. And can you imagine how it would be to not have to deal with these every day? Let me tell you why Portugal is a great option. I just spent 5 weeks in Portugal. I split my time between Lisbon and Porto, and let me tell you, I fell in love with the country. I think it's a really good option. If you're feeling stress of living in the United States, let me tell you, you are not gonna feel that when you go to Portugal. Let me list my 5 reasons, and you can tell me if it would be enough for you to uproot yourself from the US. Number 1. It is beautifully diverse, inclusive, and tolerant. Now, I blended in, there's a lot of Brazilians, so people thought I was Brazilian. It's about 96% Portuguese, but there are a lot of people from Brazil, Angola, Mozambique, Bangladesh, India, and of course there are some Americans, Canadians, etc. It's very diverse. You can walk down the street and you just blend in. I love that. It's also LGBTQ friendly. They legalized gay marriage in 2010. And when I spoke to some same-sex couples, they said they felt very comfortable being openly expressive in public So I'm telling you, it is a very accepting, warm, and friendly place to be. Number 2, Portugal is safe. In fact, it's the 4th safest country in the world. Can you imagine being a woman and not having to worry? It's wonderful. I rode the metro late at night. Now wait, granted, it is not devoid of like all crime, and Lisbon is a large city. So you have to keep your big city wits about you. Okay, that's obvious. But I'm just saying, in general, compared to the US in particular, it is very, very safe. And the huge, obvious elephant in the room is you don't have to worry about gun violence like you do in the United States. So that is huge. Number 3, it has a low cost of living. Now, I'm gonna focus on Lisbon specifically, and I have lived in Washington, D.C., so I'm gonna compare those two places because Lisbon is not inexpensive, but it's definitely cheaper than Washington, D.C. For example, I was looking at apartments online, and in Lisbon, you can find a nice 1-bedroom apartment in the city center from between like 700 to 1,200 euros. Compare that to Washington, D.C., and you're gonna pay between $1,800 and $3,500. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is transportation. I took the metro everywhere. I'd say the average cost is about €1.50, whereas in Washington, D.C., that same distance could be closer to $6. I also found the grocery stores to have very great prices. The food is very inexpensive in the grocery stores. I was pleasantly surprised about that. And entertainment in general is less expensive as well. Now, you certainly can do some fine dining there and it will rival the cost in Washington, D.C., but it doesn't have to. And clearly, if you get outside of the city center, things get less expensive. And finally, healthcare. Now, I didn't actually look into the prices of healthcare in Portugal, but I know for a fact, without checking the prices, that it is way cheaper than it would be in the United States. Now, clearly they do have a public healthcare system, but I'm talking about private healthcare. I spent nearly $15,000 last year on healthcare in the United States with health insurance. I mean, insanity, right? I would say that my cost in Portugal might be closer to $1,000 for the year for private healthcare. Don't quote me on that, but I've heard families tell me the prices that they're paying, and they are dramatically less than what I paid in Washington, D.C. Number 4 is the culture. Let me tell you about Lisbon. It has a very, very vibrant art scene, music scene, tons of restaurants and bars and things to do. The architecture is stunning. You can spend your weekends exploring 16th century castles and towers. And of course, there's the beautiful tiled buildings everywhere. The culture is amazing and you will never be bored. And number 5, the food and the wine. You will have the freshest fish that you have ever tasted. Sometimes you'll be walking down the street and the restaurants are grilling the fish outside. You could just smell how delicious it is. It is so fresh, caught that day. Honestly, the most delicious seafood is available right in Portugal. And the bacalhau fish, the salted cod that is very popular. You can find that everywhere. And of course, the pastries are delicious. The pasta de natas are so good. That is an egg custard tart. I highly recommend you try the pastries. The fruit is so sweet. I swear all the produce seems so much fresher and more natural there. And then let's not forget the wine. You can go to the grocery store and find dozens of bottles of wine for under 10 euros, under 5 euros, multiple bottles of wine to choose from. And let's not forget port wine. I had never tried port wine, but I tried it when I was in Portugal and I am a huge fan. You cannot miss the food and wine in Portugal. So there you have 5 excellent reasons why I think that Portugal is a great option if you are trying to leave the United States. Let me tell you, I know from experience, when I was there for 5 weeks, I could feel the stress and the anxiety just washing off of me. Have you ever been to Portugal? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.